drivers, we avoid that pothole up the street. Meanwhile, these guys zoom into canyons and call it fun.
The freeways are boring.
It's got a little scuff, just a little one.
The Peterson Ultimate Off-Road Adventure is on, and today's Rides is going on this journey way off-road, where the environment is unforgiving and the drivers don't believe in that phrase, you can't get there from here.
Bunch of loose screws in this rig.
I promised the guys some carnage.
It's not going to be pretty.
Morning, sunshine.
Oh, look, I got a scratch.
These off-road machines can get just about anywhere with their massive tires, insane suspension, and drivers who see an invitation where others see the end of the road.
Seem to be a little stuck.
It's spinning, grinding, and a lot of dirty fun as the Ultimate Off-Road Adventure gets it in gear. And it's all rolling out now on Rides.
That's all in a day is wheeling.
In a land created for a bold breed of adventurer. In a region where creatures have been seen to roll on all fours. This is where warriors forge their own road. And this is their story. These are the thrill seekers taking part in the Peterson Ultimate Off-Road Adventure. Drivers searching for the ultimate off-road adventure. Looking for adventure, the top of the top made it to this year's event. Sam Patton and his '84 CJ7 Jeep. And he's not the only Jeep owner here. There's Mike Cox and Pat Mywis, also Fred Perry. Clifton Slay not only brought his Jeep, he also brought backup.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a blast. We're ready.
Scott Sweeney brought one of the small trucks. John Eubanks and Jake Good brought a couple of big, bad Broncos. Tom Boyd made sure there was going to be a full-sized rig here.
It's the pinnacle of what the hobby is to be here.
I think it's the Super Bowl of recreational off-roading.
To be on this is, I think you're at the top of the food chain, I guess you could say.
This is a wilderness surrounded by real character.
Took us about 2 days to put it all together. We drug it out of the brush, down off about 2 hollers, way down from nowhere, but we got it out there. Down there in Booger County, yeah, that's right. And I think these other guys are scared. I think they heard we was here already, and I think that's why, oh, there's one there.
It's the leader of this off-road adventure, Rick Payway, here to get this massive undertaking underway, knowing what it's all about.
We're here for Peterson's Four-Wheel and Off-Road Magazine's Ultimate Adventure. We're going to do some real-world four-wheeling in the heartland of America. So now it's time to check everybody in and get this show on the road. CB radio, first aid kit, and fire extinguisher. I need to look at them.
I was going to do a bunch of body work and paint and all that stuff to make it look really, really nice. My wife, she said, what are you going to paint it for? You're going to go out and tear the body off it. I go, I know. She goes, well, why paint it? I said, you're right. You know what? We'll rattle can it, make it look nice, and whatever gets dented, we'll cut it off with a Sawzall, and we'll go from there.
Here's the date. Woo! Close.
I believe Rick Payway said that body damage is guaranteed on this trip, and I'm determined to prove him wrong on that. I want to have it come out as pretty as it is now.
At 3 o'clock this morning, I was ready for stickers, but I had to wait. At 4 o'clock, I was ready for coffee, and I had to wait. At 6 o'clock, I was ready for grits, and they were done.
This off-road adventure is not an actual contest. It's more like a hike, taking place on some of the most challenging terrain you'll ever find.
This is not a race. We're not in a competition. We're just in a trail ride where we go out and enjoy what we're doing. Sometimes you have to give them power to get up a hill, but most of the time it's a matter of skill and technique.
If you have a small enough rig a small enough body and big enough drivetrain, you may be able to survive.
You gotta drive smart.
But it's going to be a lot of fun. Great group of people, all willing and raring to go.
I like the adrenaline rush after going up a huge ledge, and just the ledges you stand back and look at and think there's no way anybody can go on that. I like to do them and show that they can be done, especially in a 4-cylinder Toyota.
But I like giving it a lot of gas and getting up a hill and being aggressive. So then on the other hand, you got a lot of people like creeping on the rocks and things like that.
Be ready for anything. Have spare parts, have tools, be ready to work on your rig, be ready to work on somebody else's rig. Be surprised when Rick takes you somewhere totally weird.
Oh, I think there's going to be a lot of surprises.
Yeah, he's son, did he? Tarnation, get him back in there before he gets away. Whoa.
Here we brought my 1985 Toyota truck. It's an extended cab, and it's from the cab back, it's all custom tube frame, and from the cab forward, it is a 2001 Toyota Tacoma fiberglass.
It's got a custom built Dana 60 front end in it. It's got 4130 chromoly stubbies, Spicer hubs, got a big block 460 in it, punched out, 11.5 to 1.
84 CJ7, it's got a 350 Chevy, fuel injected, 1-ton axles, 42-inch swampers.
This here is our table for our gas, kind of like you guys. You see, it's got the good tablecloth on her. That's our, this is our, and there's a good skillet. The one on the other side is for us, one weed on it. It's not this good, guys, but that's the best we got.
And I've got a C6, Pro Trans built C6, all, high angle drive line, 14 bolt in the rear with locker, posi up front. Got the 44s.
Got little bees out there for we get that honey for our biscuits in the morning. Yes, that's what it does.
Them biscuits is fine in the morning.
Yeah.
Gravy, now we're big on gravy. We like gravy.
Yes, love the gravy.
It's all owner built. I've built everything myself. It has a Mustang motor in it, fuel injected.
Here, see, there's our old skillet. It's got holes in it. Them holes, they're kind of like a rust in there, but they're not. We made them in there for that bacon grease to get down on the fire.
To keep the
fire going good when we're trying to cook.
It was bought probably about 10 years ago. It now has got a small block Chevy in it and 39-inch boggers, so had a lot of fun building it up.
Well, we got a Mitsubishi rear end. Don't know what the gear ratio is, but we got us an S10 motor in it, 4-cylinder, but it runs off 3. Got a few valves floating here and there, but I think they're scared to look at them. They're staying way over there.
Oh, this is going to be a great ultimate adventure.
All raring to go to 3 cities in 3 different states, starting in Seymour, Missouri, off to Prairie City, Arkansas, and then it's Clayton, Oklahoma. So with the roadmap set, there's only one thing left to say.
Let's move them out. Okay, thank you guys for following me out to Southern Missouri Off-Road Ranch. This is Danny Boyd. He's the owner of the ranch. Graciously allowed us to come here and hopefully thrash on our vehicles. All right, let's go.
So it's off to the first rugged trail, where it doesn't take long for these very bouncy rides to tackle the territory and do what they do best.
I don't think the one full-size is on this trail. I'll tell you what, that guy's slow, isn't he?
Yeah, the smack is starting early today.
It's got a little scuff, just a little one.
Clifton and AJ are pure off-road pros, always looking for the next great adventure.
Well, the trail hasn't gotten that hard yet, so she's feeling pretty confident, and I'm sure we'll find something up here that she's got to think about.
And that something is called the V-Notch Trail. To get through this obstacle, Clay is going to have to step out and do some spotting.
Passenger side, and back up. Don't worry about that tree. Don't worry about it. Just look at me. Okay, straighten up. Well, for the record, I picked that line. She didn't. Get with it, babe.
Okay, now it's take 2.
You're good. Babe, hold on. Huh. Didn't work very good. You'd have to try to hop up this. One shot. If it doesn't make it, if it starts going backwards, just get off of it. Give it some. Babe, more than that.
It was 4.
Oh, okay. Is it low 1?
Yeah.
Okay. Stay with it, babe. Stay with it. Okay.
It's 4.
It's all right. Bummer.
All right, time for the winch. Get used to this scene because you're gonna see it a lot out here.
It's nice to be able to make it up something, not be at the end of the winch cable. You know, with all these people standing around, you want to make it. You don't want to be spooling up your winch and slowly crawling up when everybody else is at the top.
That looked easy, but not everybody is at the top yet.
V-notch has been kicking everybody's tail. We've broken U-joints, axle joints.
Yeah. Well, my hand, I just did a manicure, and
Yeah.
I get, you know.
I've got a blister.
In
from
fact, I forgot
something.
my red nail polish, but I'll get that later.
Okay. See ya.
Ultimate Adventure is doing just fine. We're having plenty of trouble. We're having plenty of fun.
Fun stuff. Fun stuff.
And this is just day 1. This off-road adventure is heating up. Some guys took the high road. Some guys took the low road. And some, well, they didn't take any road. Today is a big day, because even after every one of these warriors displayed the stuff of champions, after they've talked the talk and driven the undrivable, nothing on this entire planet of earth, air, and water could possibly prepare them for driving on the open road. Those potholes are like the worst.
Anyone can build a rig that will just crawl around on the rocks and that type of stuff, but to drive them close to 1,000 miles at highway speed, then thrash them all day, that's a whole different game.
All right, welcome to day 2 and our first road day of Ultimate Adventure 2005. Didn't everybody find out yesterday we all help everybody else? I mean, look at John over here. He found his parts. He's going to be joining us.
So after spending a day on the event, we see there's more to this adventure than just hopping in your rig and bugging out.
Getting there is half the fun. There's a couple things about it. One is you got a group of 20 rigs going down the road. This isn't actually funny, but we've caused a couple accidents by people looking like this while they're driving and just going out there, going through the small towns. We've gone down four-wheeler road. At the end of the road, there was a kid actually reading this month's magazine, the month we were in, sitting out there reading, and he looks up and had the project vehicle and looks up and he's like, "Hey, that's you!"
It actually happened, and it was Tom Boyd who saw it happen, a joker and a veteran of this off-road adventure who's been on Peterson's annual Odyssey since 1999. To this very day, Tom remembers his first ultimate off-road adventure.
From the first one, I was the newbie and kind of held back. Watching Sam Patton, who was able to come out with us this year again, he drives completely with his right foot. And I've learned from that is drive offensively instead of defensively and put the foot in it.
Well, it seems that this year, Sam has made some slightly different plans.
I'm going to take it real easy till the last day, and then I'm going to hammer it.
Yeah, that's what they all say, because nothing slows these guys down when it's time to go. Well, almost nothing.
we're on the Peel Ferry in Arkansas. This is the last free ferry in Arkansas. What we have is our 20 vehicles going to try and get across this lake in hopefully less than a half an hour.
The bad news is that the ferry will need to make a couple of trips.
This is a blast. What a diversion.
The really bad news is that Tom is getting bored.
There's still some good edible parts on that. Alligator carp?
Hi, baby.
Off-roaders are a strange breed.
Hi, we're on Ultimate Adventure. What are you doing today? Oh, my lips moving.
So as the last load on the ferry makes its way across the lake, the final trucks are on their way to joining up with the others, and soon the rides will be returning to the road.
Yeah, we're getting ready to get off the highway here and get on an old gravel road, so we got to get prepared.
Looks like a dirt road, might be some mud, who knows?
I'm ready now.
Bunch of loose screws in this rig.
They're on their way to a stop where they can do some repairs, but these guys are hungry for adventure, so it's off into the good old-fashioned woods, coming out later for some precious mud. It was brief and fun while it lasted. Of course, that small spot of dirty work was only the beginning.
Yeah, that was a tease. It hasn't rained down here in years. I was impressed that there was actually mud, though. Yeah. So that's good.
It's also good to be at a place where they can get all their rides fixed if needed.
We went off the jump. I think everybody else missed the jump.
And the transfer case is getting a little noisy on this baby.
Like all good pit stops, this one isn't long, and soon they're off yet again. As the caravan trucks along, this bunch is still in search of the ultimate off-road adventure. But first, they need a place to sleep. But unlike their cozy motel last night, tonight is when they will all become one with the wild, putting down tent stakes, and what else? Finding time to work on their rides.
Where's the detailers? I got scratches in my paint for some reason.
For you future adventurers, know this. Your small, nimble Jeep has a big disadvantage next to a lifted truck, particularly when the activity is sleeping bag placement.
Snakes and bugs can't get in it when it's up here. Hopefully, we'll find out.
Oh, you will find out all right. And as nightfall eventually melds its way into the morning light, our adventurers soon hear their two most favorite words.
Drivers meeting.
Doing very well. Great day for another day of four-wheeling. Here at Outlaw Off-Road Adventures.
The man has got that right. Well, actually, he doesn't. The name of the place is Outlaw Adventures Off-Road Vehicle Park. But it's soon easy to see why he left off the park part of it. And nobody found that out faster than our squad leader, Rick, a driver who wasted no time in search of trouble to get into.
This is called Gatekeeper. I've successfully been the first stuck on here.
Oh, this is a blast. Yeah, I think I'm going to air down a little bit. I've got about 5 pounds of air pressure in the tires. I'm going to go down to 3.
Oh, now what kind of spot is that? Well, there's a couple places up here, and luckily we get an award for taking stuff off our truck and not like disassembling, but letting the terrain take it off. I think there's a tree up here that's going to take a couple parts off my truck.
A piece of cake. I wasn't even worried. No problem.
Well, there's someone who is worried about damage.
I scratched the roll cage a little bit, but I don't think I've hit the body anywhere, so my goal continues. There you go. You're good. Get with it.
feels great. It feels great. I think we just caught some good lines and tires grabbed and I had some good direction and we made it.
Where is the best place to find cows?
Where is the best place to find cows?
In a museum.
Ooh, yeah, baby. In a museum. Yeah. You got kids.
Well, one of the biggest problems you find when you're a short guy and you got these fenders is getting all your gear out of the back. So what I did, I found a tree up there, and now I can get everything out really easy because it's so nicely moved. Yeah, this is called a belly hole. See how that fits? That's what it's for.
Oh, it's just a great experience to be out here on the Ultimate Adventure. I mean, you're with a lot of the big names in off-road, the people that you read about, and you see their fab work, and you see the vehicles that they build, and to come out and see them personally, get to talk with them on a different level outside of the shop, and see how everything works and everybody's thought processes, and everybody's got a different idea on what makes a vehicle perform better than they did stock, and it's neat to see all of that, and it's really great just to meet all these people.
One way to navigate the trails is to watch some of the local wheelers. By now, they're pretty darn good at it.
Let's see what happens.
Local advantage. When you go through it about 200 or 300 times, you find the spot where to and where not to go.
My poor door, man. You know how hard those things are to find?
Word soon circulates that there's some real damage within the ranks.
All the weight on the downward knuckle, just a tiny amount of gas broke the axle shaft, which in turn broke the outer knuckle. So now we're sitting at a rather peculiar angle, hooked to a vehicle, hoping to get drugged to a point where we can do a repair.
They're going to try to repair it, but first they need to get it back to camp. It seems they have now decided to try the repair, pretty much right where it is. The ultimate off-road adventure is becoming quite an adventure. Not the break from civilization this bunch hoped it would be.
Basically, we're going to get it lifted up to where we can at least get to it to work on it. We got a guy going to bring us some parts, a new knuckle. We've got the axle and the joint and the stubs. Once we get it, we're going to get the wheel back on it. We're going to have to get it back to camp because it ripped the front spring mount out and the shock mount off. So basically, get it movable, we'll be okay. But that's going to be the hardest part, is just getting parts to it.
Off-road enthusiasts are an intriguing bunch. These lovers of the great outdoors aren't trying to conquer nature, they want to coexist with it on their terms and clearly on nature's terms.
Seem to be a little stuck.
He's stuck and he loves it. He came out for this. Thus, the intrigue of the off-road enthusiast continues.
There you go. Perfect.
We tried climbing the notch over there and At the top there, the wall ain't too friendly. But we almost had it.
It's a good thing John listened to his wife. And Tim? Well, it looks like he didn't listen to anybody.
Gotta have it, you know how the CHP are.
Well, the longer wheelbase rigs are sure getting a workout today.
122, so I back and fill, and feel sorry for Fred Perry behind me because I've had to make him back up a couple times.
Yeah, we got 2 hung high, right? 2 crammed up in the fenders and 2 hanging on there.
And worse yet is when you need to tuck your tail between your legs because the local teenagers are busy wiping the trail with you.
Some of them kind of get mad at me. Got a 15-year-old beating them. It's fun.
Of course, it helps to have rear-wheel steering on your custom rig.
Brand new, just ordered this in. We'll reinstall it. It's already been custom fit, so we don't have to worry about that trial and error fitting that took 2 hours.
Welcome to the Fox Run. It's one tough region for one very good reason. Water plus traction equals no traction. So to make up for all that moisture, you need to be one determined and skilled off-road driver. Just when it seems like nobody is ever going to get out of here without a lot of help, a local buggy jumps in to show us just what to do. It looks like Sam will have to issue a retraction to his earlier statement about not dropping the hammer until the last day.
Well, I got to make up for it because the suspension's kind of old and, you know, with leaf springs and all that, so I got to work a little bit harder.
Crawling up wet rock is one tricky situation for a truck of this size, and it looks like Tom is going to end up breaking a few parts to even come close to getting his Ford out of this ravine. Inch by inch, he makes progress. But just when he thinks he has it licked, well, he doesn't.
I'm pouring oil out. Oh, look, I got a scratch.
Tom's out of the water, but Tim and his little samurai are in a pickle.
Well, hey, you gonna do it again? You're done. You're done right there. You're gonna have to go. Hey, you're gonna have to go that way.
So while Tim figures out just which way he can go, the rest of the gang begins to gather back at camp.
Went good. Had a good time. Got a little rough there at the end, but we made it without breaking anything.
And once night turns into day, there again is that sound, the one that is sweeter than the morning doves.
Drivers meeting. We are at the second road day of Ultimate Adventure 2005. Our objective is to get to Clayton, Oklahoma by 5 o'clock.
So it's time to say goodbye to Outlaw Adventures Off-Road Vehicle Park. Home of the... well, let's just say it was time to go. And just a few miles down the road, paradise.
We are at John Holt Auto Salvage near LaQuire, Oklahoma. We're on day 5 of Ultimate Adventure, and we figured out that we needed some parts.
They are kids in a candy store.
We duct taped on the lens just for good luck, but they sold me a good used one I'll wire it on tonight at camp. We're gonna go over the San Juan Mountains on our way to Clayton. And after that, we'll hit the trail in the morning. Everybody, we are at Green Acres Off-Road Park. Wanted to introduce you to Slim Williams. He's the owner. He also has his 4x4 shop here, and he's been thrashing, I think, Slim, since Monday?
Yeah. So everybody pitches in. After all, Slim is letting the gang play in his backyard. Well, here on the ultimate off-road adventure, the men made a valiant attempt to save the ride belonging to one of their fallen brethren. But by morning, it turned out to be a mess of bad news regarding the rig of our guide, Slim. This will result in trouble for the highly anticipated trail day here at Green Acres Off-Road Park.
Welcome to the third trail day of Ultimate Adventure 2005. Our problem right now is we don't have a trail leader because, as you know, you were all working on his vehicle last night.
It will be hard to navigate these trails without Slim because, as the sign says, they do begin with his slope. Even so, Rick has a plan.
Sam Patton and I know the trails well enough, we'll lead them. All right, let's go.
When you sign up to be a participant in this ultimate off-road adventure, the organizers first inform you of a few very important things. One of the first bits of information is this: body damage to your ride is guaranteed, especially if you're driving a full-sized rig. Also, all of the participants are told that the trails will be tight, rocky, and tough. But for these guys, that sounds like more of a sales pitch than a warning. Well, later in the day, guess who finally made it into the pack, joining the others in search of the ultimate off-road adventure?
This is what they call Wet and Wild. It's kind of an introductory. It kind of let everybody get a feel for what's coming up. And if they didn't get a feel for it here, they get down the bottom of this little hill over here, they should have had one by then.
Well, these guys had better take Slim's word for it. If not, their vehicles could be in for a world of hurt. At the moment, it might be time for a snack, and this seems like just the right parking spot to catch a quick bite. And it sure smells good, too.
Oh, it's lunchtime. We started about 30 minutes ago. And our lunch is rather warm. And that's the beginning of lunch. And next time we stop, we'll have a second meal ready to go.
Only thing you need to be careful of is stay away from the throttle cable.
Yeah, don't want to block that.
Yeah, I'd learned that the hard way one time.
It looks like Fred's Jeep has a big problem.
Fred, your track bar's loose. I mean, it's on the ground.
Track bar?
Yeah. Let me see if I can move it. Don't do anything.
This is gonna take some work.
And that is his track bar. And what the track bar does, it controls the axle for moving crossways across the frame. And what the result is that it is actually smashing his shocks because it's allowing that axle to walk everywhere. We smashed one of those expensive shocks, and it's gonna be hard to get out here in Oklahoma.
Clifton is clearly a guy you want on your team when the chips are down, and so is your ride. And if there's one more thing you'll want out here, it's an item soon found on one of the Jeeps, an arc welder. It comes with its own heavy-duty auxiliary generator to supply the power needed for the welding. So the adventure continues, and this group is bound and determined to find some fun.
I gave you a wet willy.
Oh,
Oh, jeez, that's hot, dude.
it's not hot. I'm holding it.
Ooh. It hurt. Well, it's gonna later. Well, it serves me right, but I didn't know I was doing it to Daisy there.
Off-road on it now.
When you play, you pay. And you really should know who you're giving a wet willy to before you do it. That's a tattoo for life. I've been branded by Daisy. Awful cute.
So after a weld here and there on Fred's ride, there's reason to celebrate.
And Fred.
It's back in the game, and now back to business. Off to another obstacle. And guess what? Another obstacle is found. It doesn't take long to see that some things are best left untried. After all, there are other places to play around here. It's now time for our leader Rick to give it a shot.
So that was a lot of fun. Now let's see what everybody else does.
So if you ever wondered what the term rock crawling looks like, well, it looks something exactly like this. Getting up these obstacles takes the perfect combination of traction, power, balance, and timing. Of course, a good helping of instinct doesn't hurt either.
Right on, guys.
And that, future adventurers, is how you climb a hill. One part of this adventure that makes it fun is that Rick Payway keeps the route secret, so there is no way to plan ahead for the trip. So it makes it impossible to prep the rig for any specific type of condition.
That's why we don't get to know where we're going. He doesn't want anyone going ahead. We've gone to airports that had World War II planes and everything else out in the middle of nowhere. We went across the longest, or one of the highest suspension bridges a couple years back, which was really cool.
Best advice? Prep for everything. Now Gearhead Clifton has at it with his Jeep Unlimited, and he seems to know how to dance around the trouble spots. With the assistance of a winch, he makes it through. Next, a Jeep reminds us how tough this spot really is.
Well, let's see, Trail Leader tried it. He couldn't make it, so he went around. I tried it. Tim Hardy and I worked it through, popped it out the top. Clifton came along. He did a valiant attempt, but he finally decided, especially in the interest of time, safety, and the whole trip, it's time to winch. So he popped it out with the winch. Then Mike Cox comes along, does a way cool different line. You'd like to see that. Unfortunately, he fell deep into a crack. Now the extraction process proceeds as planned.
This is the story of Mike Cox, a man with his ride now stuck between rocks. That's the end of the whimsy, because the reality is nobody here on the Ultimate Off-Road Adventure is sure about just how to get Mike's Jeep out of this mess. Believe it or not, it seems this is the kind of problem that many of these off-road fanatics live for, the perfect four-wheeled problem to solve.
Get the front end back up on this ledge and out of that hole.
Well, it looks like all that work and all that geometry just might do the trick. But it looks like this rolling dragon has slayed the ledge because the driver has found what these men call the line.
You look ahead at the trail, and a line is basically a section of the trail where you think you can get your rig through. And you can look at it, there's a whole bunch of different lines. A line could be an easy line, could be a difficult line, an impossible line.
That was the line I saw, because I knew that if I got up on there, there's a little ledge across the whole face. and I'm wide enough that I can lean over and not go over where all the Jeeps are a little bit narrower.
The worst now seems to be over, so of course, this team now needs to find new chaos to encounter. They're on the lookout for the impossible, and word has it, it's just up the road. Black Sheep is the name of this rock line challenge. People who know the park recommend that drivers not give it a try. Well, it doesn't take long before a few drivers learn that the warnings were warranted. One of those drivers is our fearless leader, Rick, in his battered but always ready yellow pickup.
Well, Team Up Black Sheep, it's a real tight trail made for small vehicles. Well, this isn't exactly a small vehicle, as evidenced by all the dents and everything else. However, I had Clifton Slade spotting me, and our biggest problem was this one rock sticking right out of the side, which kind of did some damage to the other side. But there was only one way to do it, so we got it up. But unfortunately, I hit this last one a little hard, gave it too much goose, and put a rock through the tire. Anything can and will happen.
I think it's almost insanity, really. I haven't really figured it out that you can throw this much money into a hobby and then just destroy the resale value of your truck.
And they're still having fun as the day comes to a close, with the gang already looking forward to tomorrow. This bunch loves the smell of welding in the morning. Frankly, it doesn't smell that great, but in many cases, it's the only way that your ride is going to be ready to face another day in search of the ultimate off-road adventure.
Morning, sunshine.
Perhaps I should have waited to wash my face before we took the access road down.
Welcome to the final road day of Ultimate Adventure 2005.
Where am I going? I believe we're going to Poto, but mostly I'm following the Jeep in front of me.
They have dirt to hit and a few miles to kill before they're off-roading yet again. So far, the event has been a success, with a lot of good times shared by all.
We're going on a small little trail that goes way up to the top of the Winding Stairs Mountains. We're just gonna go along until hopefully I find the next road that I think it may be on. That's part of it. That's what I do.
And what Rick's doing now is leading the group to a spot that sports an amazing bit of scenery.
How can anybody look at this and not want to go four-wheel? Because all you got to do is look and see a little cut in the trees way off down there somewhere. You know there's a trail. You got to get down there. It's going to be the baddest rock you ever got on.
Recreational four-wheeling of the sort that we're doing, it's different than, say, competitive rock racing. That sort of thing is really interesting, and it drives the technological force, but it's not like this, getting out in the hills, tooling around, breathing the fresh air, getting rained on.
These off-road days are killing me.
Every vehicle is showing the scars and the battle marks of the journey so far. And in some cases, there's a little more than your average scrape on the fender.
Got some carnage. Have a broken turn signal.
A broken turn signal is the least of it in a fleet of dented and beat up rides about to enter the final and funnest day of their ultimate off-road adventure.
Well, we're at the top of Kavanaugh Hill in Poto, Oklahoma. It is the world's highest hill at 1,999 feet, so it's not a mountain. And we went down to the bottom with our four-wheel drive rigs and then crawled all the way back up to the top.
I would say the biggest rush is when you go through an obstacle or an area where you feel like the vehicle and maybe yourself went beyond what you thought it would.
was really appealing to me over cars is that once you get off-road, everything is yours. There's no police, no rules. So whatever you build, you can go out, take it, use it to the fullest extent. You can do 100 miles an hour if you want, race, jump, donuts through the mud. It's a lot of fun.
It's their final event after starting in Seymour, Missouri 7 days ago. After that, this bunch went to Prairie City, Arkansas, and then Clayton, Oklahoma. Now here in Poto, these drivers give it all they've got. After all, they don't need to worry about their ride for tomorrow's activity, unless of course they'd like it still working for the long drive home. They lived for humid days without running water, electricity, or sanitary facilities, encountering ticks, mites, snakes, and any other form of irritating insect known to man. They did it all for their passion to go off-road, and now that they're on the final run of their great adventure, they've all decided to make this last climb their finest hour.
Nice save.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Well, thank you, everybody. That is the final trail of Ultimate Adventure 2005. Did you like it?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Day one of their adventure had them wheeling hard in the depths of a southern Missouri off-road ranch, where they all drove as though there was no tomorrow. But tomorrow came anyway with day two of their journey, where they drove 200 miles on pavement, crossing the state line and signing up to be outlaws at Outlaw Adventures Off-Road Vehicle Park. On day three, they just couldn't get out of that park, insisting on staying in a sanctuary that offered some of the most challenging off-road obstacles the North American continent has to offer. Day four brought another crossing of a state line as the gang had Clayton, Oklahoma in their sights for another round of off-road insanity. The fifth day of this ultimate adventure saw the Green Acres Off-Road Park taken over by the members of our troop, attempting the impossible and often succeeding when it came to big rigs and tight terrain. Half a dozen days in, our heroes attacked their final hours together with enough off-road activity to satisfy even the most adventure-starved drivers off the road, tearing it up, and when they were finished, doing it again. And on this last day of their mighty opus, the Army running in the ultimate off-road adventure now looks forward to their victory dinner, a celebration of their journey and themselves.
Do I have everybody's attention on the 2005 Ultimate Adventure Closing Victory Dinner? Hey!
Hold your applause till the end.
And soon, it was time for the awards.
This year, it's Clifton, AJ, and Scott. They get the Best Tail Award. Nate and Brad Marsh, that Wagoneer's fantastic. All I could come up was best use of a Wagoneer. Oh my God, Tom Boyd. He had the best loss of parts and the best use of parts. He'd take them off one side, put them on the other. He'd lose them, he'd bolt them back on. Tom, best loss of parts. Jeff was talking about this big, badass Bronco. You got the square peg and a round hole award.
I don't never done no rock trails and nothing like that, but I appreciate all the help that you guys gave, and everybody was just a great people, and I'm not gonna cry, but I'm gonna. Thank you for all your help.
To say they're a special breed would be putting it mildly. They put their time, their resources, and their passion into a mission. While many can't understand their devotion, there are others who dream of what they're doing, but never do it. These people do it, loudly and with a style that can only be described as off-road.
They know what they're doing. They enjoy the heck out of themselves. They're first on the spot to help anybody because they know anybody in this type of group will help them.
It's camaraderie. It's a sport that's growing, and we enjoy every minute of it.
So the next time you're stuck in traffic and you can see the trees and the greenery out there in the distance, think of Rick and his gang from the Ultimate Off-Road Adventure and ask yourself, where would I rather be right now? Waiting on pavement or tearing it up out there off-road?